Sonic Frontiers has been out for almost a year now, and although it initially started as a fairly basic but fun 3D open world platformer, throughout this year, it's seen two major updates, adding new content and features to the game. The first of these was the Sights and Sounds update, which added photo mode and the ability to collect and play songs through an in-game jukebox. The second was the Birthday Bash update, which added new cosmetics, new challenges, and new Coco to the game, as well as the Spin Dash. And now the third update, the Final Horizon, which is set to release at the end of this month. Hype has been building since the content roadmap was announced last year, as it promises new story and playable characters. However, I think it'd be cool to speculate and think of what changes would be good to have in this update, what to expect from potential new features, and what shouldn't be changed. To make sure this video isn't an hour long, I'm going to limit myself to 4 things per category. With the stage set, it's time to get moving. Alright, so starting off with what I would like to see in the Final Horizon is how will 𝗦𝗰𝗿𝗶𝗽𝗁 Island be changed? Since we all know 𝗦𝗰𝗿 is a chunk of Kronos Island that became its own island by release, I want to see, based on the recent teaser trailer, how far they went with improving the look and overall feel of 𝗦𝗰𝗿. While it could be argued that Rhea is still a very important island, it only really exists to have some fun platforming challenges and story. After that, there's no real reason to go back. 𝗦𝗰𝗿 is very similar, with it being very underwhelming as the finale of the game. After Rhea, I was hyped for the endgame, only to be treated to more of the same gameplay from Islands 1, 2, and 3. If Rhea and 𝗦𝗰𝗿 were improved, then the endgame would be so much better, making Frontiers better too. Next, we got another big one, and that's being able to replay the Titan boss fights. Listen, I know we have Battle Rush, which is cool for what it is, but I don't want to be figuring out all the cheat codes to get the best S rank against every enemy on each island, when I just want to fight 𝗦𝗰𝗿𝗃 and face that goofy Austrian back to back. What I think they can do is that the location we encounter the boss is used as a waypoint or portal for us to be able to just replay those certain bosses. Gigantos can be the waterfall before you encounter him, 𝗦𝗰𝗿s can be the tower, and Night is the volcano, asking if the player would like to replay the boss. Coming next as my third want, but having a minimap within the HUD. Not sure where exactly they'd put it, but not everyone can navigate with just a compass, so I think having a minimap could help with navigation a bit more on the harder to navigate islands. Now for my final one is something I think a lot will agree with, and that's being able to play as Sonic's friends within their normal form, instead of their hologram cyberspace form. While personally I do like the cyberspace form, I prefer having these 3 in their normal form outside of cyberspace, and have them free to roam around in the open zone. Now, with the wants out of the way, I had a few things that I didn't want to see in this upcoming update, but I will only talk about the main one, and for me, that's reconciling the ending of the original game. For me, the ending of Sonic Frontiers, though very anticlimactic, had emotional weight that hasn't even been attempted since Unleashed. And though there are a lot of things I would change, I can't deny that Sage's death, Eggman's mourning, and Eggman working to bring Sage back was touching. So please don't change it, and if you do, make it even more emotional. So in other words, I desperately need that serotonin dose I get from Dear Father. Please, Daddy Keys, please! Next, Supersonic in the open zone. I'm pretty sure everyone who has played Frontiers has wanted him to be playable outside of bosses. Would he be overpowered? Of course he would, and that's how it's supposed to be. Think back to the Genesis games, Mania, or any game that's had Supersonic, except for Forces, but we don't talk about that. It's absolutely beautiful because it's overpowered. An extra form on top of that would be even better, but having playable Supersonic again would already have me over the moon. And on the topic of other forms, I really hope that there are extra forms outside of Supersonic 2 or Cybersonic or whatever they're gonna call it, I don't know. It'd be semi-disappointing if there was no entirely new form. I think this is unlikely, But an entirely new form would definitely bring more trust back to the Sonic series. Because let's be honest, we all love new forms in the Sonic series. Don't even lie to yourself. Quick side note, this one isn't too major, but I felt I should include it. Moving forward, having all game content accessible on all difficulties would be ideal in my opinion. It doesn't do anything, and even if a person played on normal, they can just switch to hard before Supreme anyway. These last 2 points are things I think are unlikely, but I'm still hoping for anyway. Firstly, more moves for Sonic. As it stands, Sonic is already really fun in Sonic Frontiers, especially with the newly added Spin Dash in Update 2. So having new attacks or some new move would be really cool and would give my 99 skill point reserve some actual use. Secondly, I think new mechanics in the game for the platforming would make the game so much more fun. The Rhea towers and the Coco challenges are my favorite parts of the open zone, and I think pushing that further is the right move. Now it's time for an improvement that I think a lot of people have talked about but haven't really harped on: the day and night cycle. Dramatic sting, I personally think that it's really cool to have a day and night cycle, but I also think having to wait for actual real life minutes for challenges to be accessible is really annoying, especially when games like Breath of the Wild have a system to prevent this issue. But there is a very simple and pretty cool solution. The egg bases around the islands could be used as some sort of base or shelter, kind of like Super Mario Odyssey. You could rest, do some training, rewatch in-game cinematics, change cosmetics. The sky's the limit really. It would solve the problem in a very organic way that gives the player more to do in the world of Frontiers. Also, very small issue I'd fix, and that would be to stop making me waste a whole in-game day waiting for the stupid light things to spawn. God damn. Anyway, that's all I've got on what improvements, hopes, and dreams I would like to see in Update 3. But now I turn the question to you. What do you think Update 3 should improve upon? Let me know down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button as it really helps. Comment if you have advice to help me improve, and subscribe if you want to be notified of when I next upload. With all that said, I'll see you all at the release of The Final Horizon. Stay safe and take care.